Hello, trading has closed on November 20th, 2024. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, make our predictions. It's my trading plan for Thursday. Thursday is the 21st of November, 2024. Please remember, I can be completely wrong. Any trade you make should be made at your own risk. Also remember, my MEJT system gives targets. It says nothing about the entries. Look for the pattern today with the early high. That's this. And tomorrow should also have the early high. We had an optional target of 58.6425. Optional targets don't have to print, but they usually do. This one printed. There's support under the target. Support doesn't have to hold, but this one did. This is a reminder of what we said. Tomorrow has the early high. We had a number of moves, MEJT called false moves. They've already retraced. That doesn't help us. Afternoon gave us an ultimate buy and sell. Says we trade higher and lower, go nowhere for a while. That's played out too. And there's no MEJT target left outstanding from today's pattern, so we're going to have to use other stuff. Well, this is a pattern with the early high. It's normally a negative pattern. When it isn't negative, you see more strength. Now, so far, that's a bullish pattern. But time doesn't run out until tomorrow's open. So if we gap and promptly undercut that low or promptly drop at the open, then that's the standard pattern. So if you're a bear, what you need to do is to gap and take this out. So what's the chance of that happening? Well, I think it's pretty good. Can't say it's guaranteed, but here's an impulse down. Here's a corrective wave up. We rallied all day. Couldn't take out this high. So far that's the active pattern. That's the corrective pattern. As long as this high holds, you could say the next move is down. This drop has to be followed by a further drop at some point. Usually you don't have to wait too long. We've tested this level a number of times. The more time you test it, the more likely it is to break. And I think that's a stilt, and I think that's a diamond. And if you ignore that squiggle, you have the inverted diamond on stilts pattern of mine. And this is the first challenge of the origin of the left stilt, and usually the first challenge of the left stilt holds. And futures are already down. Now they're only down how much? They're down 20.5 points. Well, that's more than last time I looked. You'd have to really drop a lot more than that to drop over 50, almost 60 points to undercut that low, but I think it's possible. I can't say it's required, but we rallied all day, couldn't take this out. We have a target here which has to be undercut at some point. We have a rally which accomplished nothing. Usually this resistance holds with your inverted diamond on stilts, and this pattern usually closes near its low, or else we see higher prices. We don't take this low out pretty soon, we should see higher prices even though futures are down 20. I think it's more likely we gap down sharply at the open. I just can't say it's required, but I think it's clearly on the table. Wouldn't surprise me a bit. Thursday's pattern has the early high regardless of where we open. Today's normally bearish pattern wasn't bearish at all. It was bullish. And if it's maintained at the open, this should lead to further gains. But if we gap and promptly undercut today's low, that kills the pattern. I don't think a gap like that's impossible. The day-long rally couldn't clear prior highs, so it's just backing and filling, and Friday's drop should be undercut at some time. Retesting the low without reversing higher. Reversing higher means you clear a prior high. Makes it more likely that lower price will print sooner rather than later. Remember, the rule is if you don't drop early, you're going to print higher highs, and this is an inverted diamond on stilts. You've already started down. I'm looking for that to hold most of the time. It doesn't work every time, I'll tell you that right now. But if that's the right interpretation, we're going to have a sharp gap down tomorrow with a good chance we undercut that low pretty soon. Can't say it's guaranteed, but it's certainly on the table. It's a pattern with the early high, and that's today's call.